Hello everyone at U of A. It's a pleasure to be with you today. My name is John McArthur. I'm the Chief Executive of Millennium Promise, and first of all I want to congratulate you all for taking on a very important topic on your student referendum on March the 3rd, whether to work with Millennium Promise to support Millennium Villages project. As all of you know, because you're so actively involved in this is a hot topic not just for you but for the world, and in particular for Canada this year, is what are the practical things that we can do together to tackle the challenges of the Millennium Development Goals, the world's agreed targets for extreme poverty in its many forms by 2015, and how can we work together in a all-hands-on-deck manner to make sure that the practical efforts are being taken on so that these goals can be achieved. In Canada, this is an especially important topic this year because Prime Minister Harper and the Government of Canada will be hosting the G8 and G20 summits in June. That's a major event en route to the September UN MDG summit, which is the last major checkpoint summit en route to the 2015 deadline. And Prime Minister Harper himself last week in Switzerland mentioned that MDGs 4 and 5 for child and maternal health will be major topics for the summit this year in Canada. And this is a very important time for a conversation throughout Canada, and especially on the campuses, to be thinking through not just what will the government do, but what will all Canadians do? What will the companies do? What will the nonprofit organizations do? And what will the students do, and what will the individuals do to take on the challenges of extreme poverty? One of the things we've seen is universities like Carleton and major companies like Agrium have taken on the critical challenge by doing what they're good at, whether it's the fertilizer, whether it's the bed nets, whether it's the cell phone connectivity, whether it's the ideas, the debate. Each of us has something to contribute to this critical challenge, and in my view each of us has a responsibility to contribute what we are good at, because there are more than 1 billion people in the world, best estimate about 1.5 billion right now, who are living on less than $1 a day, and they don't even get the chance to contribute or to participate in debates and discussions like the one we're having today. And the notion of Canada playing a leadership role, and Albertans playing a leadership role, and students at U of A playing a leadership role is very deeply motivating for me as a Canadian, and for you, hopefully, as students with an enormous set of potentials and insights on how the world can best move forward. In the Millennium Villages project, we've seen that more than 500,000 people can make extraordinary progress in a very short amount of time towards the Millennium Development Goals. We've seen in 12 locations communities double and triple their food production in the space of a growing season, and then just continue that year after year. We've seen the distribution of bed nets bring malaria down 90% often, and just through the basic introduction of a simple technique like that, a bed net, and also very basic medicine that was never available otherwise. We've seen school meals be introduced once the production of food doubles and triples, because then there's finally enough surplus for the kids to have a meal every day. And then in turn enrollment jumps typically 20% as soon as those basic meals and services are available. We've seen basic clinical services go through the roof. We've seen access to AIDS treatment go through the roof. We've seen access to drinking water go through the roof. In some places going from very few people having access to safe drinking water to indeed everyone having access, or nearly everyone having access to safe drinking water, all in a very short amount of time. Why is that important? It's important because all of it is so inexpensive. We estimate that about $80 per person per year worth of basic tools, not cash, but basic tools, when transparently delivered, when audited properly and measured against clear targets, can make an extraordinary difference for people who have basically nothing at all. And we've seen through our early midterm survey data that the results in child mortality, in hunger, in undernutrition, in enrollment, all of them are extremely strong. And this is the type of breakthrough that we all need to be working together to support in the next 5 years. We've had countries around Africa ask to join the project of the Millennium Villages. We've had countries asked to scale it up to reach millions and even tens of millions of people. because these types of practical, tools-focused programs aren't common enough. You at U of A are having a major debate right now, which is exactly the type of debate that I hope every campus has, across Canada certainly in 2010, and around the world certainly in the coming years. We can be, it's true, the generation that ends poverty. We can do it together. It's not done yet, but it's only through the active debates, the thoughtful conversations, the coffees after class where we get into the ideas together, that we actually will not just come up with the new action steps, but also the great ideas where universities like yours will come up with the insights for a new generation. So I really hope we get the chance to work together. I just want to congratulate you again for taking this on, and I hope that with March 3rd and the big event coming up, we'll have a lot of opportunities to continue the conversation. I've been working on these issues as a Canadian for the past 10 years. I've had the privilege to work with Professor Jeffrey Sachs for that period, and I know that he and I would only be all too thrilled to get the chance to work together with you to help not just expand the success of the Millennium Villages project, but to expand Canada's leadership for the Millennium Development Goals and for the world. So thank you, and I really hope we have the chance to work together.